Hey, welcome back to my car shop. Today, we're going to start reassembling the engine on the 26 Oakland. Don't go away. See you on the other side of the intro in 30 seconds. Don't go away. I promise. You'll like it.
Working out of a 100-year-old refurbished barn, bringing 35 years of experience to projects considered beyond repair. Vision, creativity, and problem solving are essential tools in this place. Watch as we transform junk into polished metal miracles. This is My Car's Shop.
All right, well, I think the planets have finally aligned for us to move forward on the 26 Oakland project. Got the cam back from the machine shop. It's all polished up. I haven't even opened it yet to see what it looks like, but I'm sure it's fine. We got the generator all done and gone through, so that's ready to put back in. And my dad should be joining us here shortly so that we can start putting this engine together. So hope you enjoy this. Let's just get after it. Too much talk. Let's just rock. Okay, so all of that craziness was just getting the engine lifted back up again so we can take the timing cover off so that we can slide the cam in there. So Dad's taking those bolts out right now. Say hi, Dad.
Hello.
So he's pulling those bolts out and getting that timing cover off, and we'll probably support that motor with something else just for safety. Seems like maybe we have a jack stand under there with some boards on it when I think about it, so we'll figure that out, but starting to go together. Yeah, it's just a dowel pin. There we go. Okay, so just unwrapping the camshaft to see what it looks like. A friend of mine owns the machine shop where this was done, so I'm sure it was done well, but so they did a nice job polishing that up. It had just a little bit of rust in a couple places. They didn't get overly aggressive with it. They did a nice job on it. Okay, so we're going to slip the cam in, and just what I use for coating the cam. Something really sticky. Yes, there's assembly lube and so forth, but I've always had good luck with just using STP. It's real sticky. It'll stick to that cam and make sure everything's well lubricated when we finally get to fire this up. We're just doing a little cleanup, just getting some of the gunk out of there. It's not trying to make it perfect, but get the big chunks out at least. We put the cam in first, which may seem kind of backwards, but I wanted to keep that gunk and dirt out of the bearing as much as possible. So once we're done scraping and cleaning, we'll just lift that cam back out a little bit and wipe that off real good, and we should be good to go. But, it's not really dirt, it's just sludge. So. Okay, so had a little challenge getting the timing gear on the camshaft. It's a pressed fit, but we were able to get it on there, and everything is good now. The camshaft end play is good, so we're fixing to put the lifters now into the lifter galleys and get those tightened down, and then we'll start assembling the valves. So we'll take you over there and just let you see where we're at. Okay, good. So we've got the cam gear on. We've got nice cam end play, just a little, few thousandths of end play like it's supposed to have. Everything is nice and lining up really good. So the next step then now is to get those lifter assemblies down in there. I got to clean that up just a bit more, and then we'll start putting those in place. All right, so I'm not really able to video in this spot, but I thought I'd stop here for a second and just let you see that we have 4 of the valves back in, so we are a third of the way there. So we have 8 more to do. When we get closer to the front of the motor and things are a little bit more open, I'll show you the process of installing them. It's actually going better than I expected. Adjusting those lifters down, as per the last episode while I had them on the bench and cleaned them up, is making a big difference in the way this is going. The worst part is getting the springs in over those lifters, and once that's done, it goes together pretty well. Okay, so we can all start singing Bon Jovi now. We're halfway there, living on a prayer. So we're going to take a break. Furnace just ran out of propane, so we're going to go get some propane and come back and get the other 6 done. So it's nice to see. Those 6 valves are in. Close. I'm going to use the tool. Some of those I can get by hand, and some I just can't. There we go. What did I do? I just put a spring in here, but I didn't put a valve in that one. Okay. And this is an exhaust, so we need one of the new valves. That's right, this one. I got caught up in that other one with the wrong retainer. I forgot about putting this valve in. There we go. Okay. Okay, feels like it's in. Nope, something's not right. Oh, must have fell out. Retainer's in there somewhere. Pretty sure. I don't think it's still up in there. Well, it is. Maybe. They were going so well till we turned the camera on. Yeah, it's definitely something's wonky. Can't get it to click. There we go. Couldn't get it to click at second click. Yeah, it's like that retainer's stuck in there or something. It's weird. Yeah, the retainer's kind of pinched in there. Well, that's a weird one. I don't know what the heck the deal is with that. We didn't hear that retainer fall out, did we?
I didn't know. One of my energy batteries just went dead. So.
Okay.
I think the retainer's there.
There, it fell out.
Okay.
So that's why it was giving me fits. It was acting wonky because of that. Remember what I said, as soon as we turn the camera on, we'd have fits. Something's just not right. I can't even get the valve back out of there now. All right, go ahead and shut the camera off. Something's not right. Some of those I can get in there by hand just like that. Other ones I can't. And I didn't put the valve in on here yet, so I gotta do that. So this is a 2 exhausts. No, 2 intakes, sorry. So, that valve is bottoming a little bit. Oh, that's, why is that one still way adjusted up? Must have missed that one. Yeah, the valve is holding open right now, so we're going to have to adjust that down if we can.
Okay.
Kind of wished I would have done that when it was out of there. Hope there's not a problem. It would stink to have to take all those back out. Can't have that valve hanging, that's for sure. Don't like that, don't like that. Popped off on me. Yeah, I gotta go here. I can't do it that way. Getting that stud, but I can go over here. Does that make it easier for you to see?
Yep.
Okay, good. Keeper. That's why I don't want my fingers in there.
Yes. Exactly.
This needs to be the other way. I think that's why it slipped. Well, it's just one of those, I guess. Trying to show you guys how it's going, but I may have to just do this at this other angle so it doesn't slip out.
Better do it that way, it's safer.
And I'm going to hold this tool while I try to get this keeper in there. Come on. It's stuck. There we go. Okay, it's in. And it's partly out. See how that's sticking down right here? And so it's not in the slot all the way. This is why I like the wedge style keepers much better than these, but this is what we have. There we go. Simple as pie. All right, one more. And then let's make sure we adjust this one back, that one that's way up.
Yes.
That could be an issue. Right now it's holding the valve open. So. And as you can see, we have the rest of the 6 valves in. Valve springs, keepers, retainers. We thought we had an issue. We had to take a couple back out, but it wasn't an issue, and so we're all good. So pull it here so you can see the top. And all of our valves are in and looking good. So we have 6 brand new exhaust valves, and our intake valves are decent. We've dressed the seats, lapped the valves. We did not do a valve job on this. We just did the best we could to clean it up. And our goal here is to fire this engine soon and make sure everything is good, but I think we're in good shape. I manually checked, I didn't pull any of the rod caps off, but just checked them for play. Everything looks good, nothing looks hot like it spun a bearing or anything, so that's good. These are poured Babbitt bearings, very expensive to do, very difficult to find somebody that can do them. So we're not wanting to get into this motor any further than we have to. If this motor had to be rebuilt, it is close to $8,000 to do it, and that's not the direction we want to be going at this point. Okay, and just so you can see, the valves are not adjusted yet, so there's not much valve lift, but if I go around here, I'm just turning the cam right now. Every lifter, or every valve is opening about the same amount. So the valves are about a 3/16 to 1/4 of an inch sloppy right now, so I need to go through and set the valves, whatever the cold lash is supposed to be to get them close, but it feels good. And we are one step closer to having this engine put back together again. Making big progress here on the Oakland. Very happy with the way this is going so far. There's obviously a million questions we don't know yet, but we're probably about done. There may be a couple more things we're going to do today on this, but I think we've accomplished what we set out to do. I'm not sure I'm ready to put the timing chain back. Well, I know I'm not ready to put the timing chain back in yet. I want to adjust the valves first, because then all I have to do is turn the cam. But I want to have a fresh mind when I do that to think all of that through. We had a couple of frustrating moments. If you remember back on a couple of earlier episodes, we talked about the difference between the wedge style and the C-clip style valve keepers. And I couldn't remember what the whole deal there was, but finally remembered that somebody had taken and put one wedge style valve in cylinder number 2 on the exhaust, and I had used that retainer, which is different than the C-clip style, and that's in one of the other episodes. I do remember showing you that. The other one, somebody had taken a wedge style valve and cut a groove in it to use a C-clip, and so I thought that I had actually used a wedge style retainer in the wrong spot, but it turns out it wasn't. I pulled that one back out, back towards the back on cylinder number 5, and it was fine. So not that it was a big deal. And if there is an issue here, you know, one of the nice things about these inline engines, if a keeper pops out or something isn't right, it's not going to hurt anything. One cylinder will stop working, one valve will stop working, but it's not like an overhead valve engine where the valve's going to drop and hit a piston, and you know, none of that's going to happen here. Very low RPM situation. It's an L-head engine, so the valves are going up and down. If it drops a keeper, what happens? Valve closes, stays there. So nothing to be concerned about. The keeper will just fall into the lifter galley. It's not going to go down into anything that's going to be any concern. And when I had talked to the guy that's the Oakland expert, he talked about whether or not these had the hair clip style valves where there's a hole drilled in there, and they took a cotter pin and bent it over to keep those keepers from falling out. This doesn't have that, so this is an earlier style 26. So they are known for popping keepers out, so that can happen, but it's not a big deal. You pop the side cover off, pop it back in, and good to go. That's just the joy of these old cars. If you can't get your hands dirty and you can't work on them, you shouldn't be driving them, because you're going to spend a lot of time doing that. There's always something to be tinkering with, and that's what I love about them. So this is going to be exciting and fun. So the next steps, get the valves adjusted, as I said. We've got an issue with the oil pan I have to look at now. I've had the pan draining for almost a year, but there's still a lot of sludge and there's some screens in there. So I'm going to get on the old Google box and see what it's got to do to replace those screens in the pan, because there's no pickup screen on the oil filter. I'm also going to call my friend the Oakland guy and see what he suggests, because I'm concerned about sucking debris up into that oil pickup. That could not be good at all. We know the engine had oil pressure before we tore it apart. Years ago I had cranked it over by hand. My aunt had watched the oil pressure gauge, and with me whipping it over by hand, the oil pressure gauge was coming up. So pretty sure the bottom end of the engine is solid and good. It was these valve issues. Some of the valves, because of carbon, were being held open, and then some of the valves were bad, and this thing could not have been running well at all. But the valves are all seated now. Everything's looking good. Very happy with the way things are going so far. Something else I wanted to mention, most of you on the channel know me as a paint body fabricator guy, but actually I'm a certified mechanic, and that's where I started my career out, was as an auto mechanic. I worked in the Chrysler dealers and in the independent, as well as in hot rod shops building engines, high performance engines in the hot rod shop, and then was just a general technician. I had my own automotive repair facility for a while, so I spent a lot of time turning wrenches. And so, when it comes to my deepest skill sets, this is it. I'm a gearhead and engine builder, transmission builder, general mechanic, certified in all the areas, blah, 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 blah. So you haven't seen a lot of that work yet, but you're going to be seeing a lot more of it coming, I'm sure. So anyway, that's where we're at with the Oakland project. Let's see where we go from here. Something else that just occurred to me that my dad and I were talking about when we went to lunch. Grandpa did a good favor by keeping this engine oiled well. He pulled the spark plugs out, kept dumping oil down to the point that I think we had 1,752 gallons of oil in the oil pan from 50, 60, 70 years of him putting oil down, cranking the motor over. That's good from the perspective of keeping the cylinders from rusting, but the one downside of that could be that the rings are gummy and stuck. So I actually I have taken a little bit of liquid wrench a couple of times and just sprayed it down into the cylinders to try to let it ooze down past the piston and the rings and hopefully loosen them up a little bit. Hopefully once we start running it, those rings will free up more. But I'm expecting some gummy rings. I'm expecting to have some oil consumption issues for a while. But there's some things we can do that hopefully will turn it around and help it work better and get those rings freed up. I do not want to pull these pistons out at all. I do not, because of those poor batted bearings. I'm very concerned about that. If we have to, we'll do it. But that's where I'm at with this. So anyway, I wanted to mention the rings. What a great sense of accomplishment today. Thank you so much for watching the episode. Hope you enjoyed it. There'll be more coming on this car. I really want to have this baby fired up here in the next few weeks. Can't wait. It hasn't run in 75 years or more. So 95-year-old car, can you believe that? It's going to be awesome. Things are looking good. Happy with the valve train. Happy with the way the engine's coming together. So I'll spend some time here getting all the valves adjusted. If you want to see the valve adjustment procedure for this engine, drop some comments down there. Let me know. Again, I want to give you what you like. I want to give you what you want to see. And so that's what's coming next. We'll get those valves adjusted up on this and then be able to put the timing chain back on, bolt the generator on, all the stuff that goes with the timing, and get the front of that motor buttoned back up and sealed up. And that'll be done. We've got some things to do to the oil pan. I've got to figure that out. I got to get on the horn with a couple of the Oakland experts and find out how exactly to deal with the screens that are in the bottom of the oil pan. Just some things there that we'll go over in time. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, this would be a great time to do that. It really would be to your benefit. There's a lot going on here. A lot more episodes coming on the Oakland. If you haven't seen anything on the Challenger and all the fabricating that I'm doing over there, check it out. I think you'll like it. 47 Ford, 74 Swinger. I mean, just a lot of stuff here. There's other cars, as you guys know, if you've been watching us. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram, /MyCarShop. And I just really want to say thank you. You guys drop a lot of comments down there, and I do try to respond to every one. You give me good insight. You give me good thoughts. And I just want to share what I do here at My Car Shop, and hopefully it encourages you. I appreciate hearing how it encourages you. I know we've gotten some comments from some other Challenger people that this was the kind of channel they were looking for. I know some of the Oakland people appreciate when I post stuff like this. We've got a lot going on here, and we just try to keep cranking them out, and you guys keep watching them, and we'll just keep growing together. The more we grow, the more I can give, and I've got a lot of stuff coming in mind. So thank you so much. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please do. Hit the bell so you receive notifications. One more thing, right? Rock on, guys.